This is a vanilla iced bulletproof coffee. I made a French press last night with the bulletproof coffee beans and put it in the fridge to keep it nice and cold on this hot summer day. For the vanilla, I'm using grass-fed collagen protein, vanilla flavored, and some MytoSweet for extra deliciousness. I won't bore you with the science, but MytoSweet is a completely natural sweetener. Add that all to a blender for about 20 seconds, pour over ice, and enjoy. Today's guest is the one and only Michael Rosenbaum.
Am I not supposed to be standing here?
So,
whoa! Yeah, you're all right. No, we're good.
You're good? All right, cool.
Yeah. Cooling down with a nice steak.
It is a little warm in here.
It is a little warm.
So. That's a good
in the
one.
morning usually, yeah.
Lex Luthor on Smallville, Martin X in Guardians of the Galaxy, Buddy Dobbs on Impastor, and a lot more. Those just happen to be some of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't want to get anxiety.
Yeah. He also does some very impressive voice impersonations, which you will get to see when we sit down for a chat on the show.
I'm glad I drove 45 minutes to see you to wake me up. Cheers, cheers, man.
I'm Riker Lynch, and this is Glass Half Full. Okay, Michael Rosenbaum.
How dare you? What a treat, bud. Fist bumps forever. You give the fist bumps, Riker? Are you a fist bumper?
I do a couple fist bumps now and then. Me and the boys, me and my boys have like the, we got the slide.
Yeah,
Me and
well,
my
you know,
brothers.
there's a lot. You meet a lot of people, and
Yeah.
let's face it. Some people are dirty.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all people, but like for instance, Gus, your camera guy. There's a tad filthy edge, and you don't know where his hands have been.
You just don't know.
He
They're
could've
working
wiped
on
his
cameras
ass.
all day.
Cameras are dirty. Cameras are like hands on. You know, one day he's dirty, the next day he might have taken a bath. You don't know.
You just don't know.
Point is, fist bumps, you're protecting it. Look, so you're not getting any of this.
You just,
and you
just
go and you
the
touch your
knuckles.
lips.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, some people are dirty.
I'm a hugger too. I like hugs.
I'm a thugger.
Fugger.
Yeah.
You're like
I fug.
a fucking hugger?
No. I hug too. I think hugs like this could be seen disingenuous. It could be seen impersonal when you go, "Hey man, all right," and they're like, "What a douche, man." So if you just lean in and just go, "Hey man, nice to meet you, man."
Yep, and then you
Good to
smell
see
the
you.
hair.
Yeah. And you bathed today.
I did.
Unlike
I'm a
Gus.
very clean person.
You are.
I very much enjoy a shower. It's really hard for me to go to sleep without taking a shower.
Really, you like to bathe? Are you a bather?
I enjoy a nice hot magnesium salt bath. Yeah.
Magnesium salt bath. That seems tranquil.
Magnesium bath salt flakes.
Relaxing. Does it help you just...
Relaxing, really good for muscles. I'm pretty active. I play a lot of ice hockey, as you know.
Yeah, we play hockey together. You're good.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks. I'm older.
You are, and you're still good. You're still fast.
I'm getting better.
I think
I'm playing harder.
At the last celebrity game, I don't think I won a single face-off against you. I think you won.
I was working on them.
There was 3 or 4 of them.
Really?
And you won all of them. Yeah.
I'll show you a little trick I learned.
Yeah, I need some. I need some practice.
You don't play a lot though. You play every week?
Recently, I've been playing every week. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. We should play together.
It's been fun.
I want to play with you guys. It's fun.
I text you every once in a while when we go skate with these guys for the stick
You guys
and puck.
skate? The camera guys skate?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. What night? Wednesdays?
We go like Wednesdays afternoon or mornings.
I'd be up for that.
All right, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
The next time we go.
I like to do it.
Yeah.
This is really delicious. Thank you for the Bulletproof.
You're welcome.
And I'm not just saying that because I know they sponsor you and everything, but Bulletproof I have it at my house, and if I'm tired in the morning and I need a little boost, I put a little Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Whether I have a decaf, calf, whatever you want, you just put it in there, and it almost makes you a little sharper.
It does. It's kind of like
edgier.
laser-like energy is how I describe it. It's really good. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Well, you did my podcast.
Yeah, we did. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, you and your brother Ross came along, and that was a real treat. Big numbers for that one.
That was fun.
Really interesting. I felt like I got inside both of you at one time.
It was like kind of like a double, thing. We had going on.
Yeah, and you can catch that on iTunes for free.
There you go. Check that out. We'll put links in.
I know.
In below as well. But we met first time.
Yeah,
was
I remember.
At Sundance,
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. We were there for the Echoes of Hope charity.
And I introduced
celebrity
you.
game. Yes, and I remember going through the program about who was going to be there, and I see Michael Rosenbaum, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys, Lex Luthor is going to be there.
Come on.
Because we grew up watching Smallville.
I love it.
And that was
the coolest thing. You were always my mom's favorite character on the show.
Really? She didn't tell me that.
Oh yeah,
we've had some moments too.
We watched as a family. That was like our show growing up. That
I love hearing
and
that.
Alias, and you were always my mom's favorite. And it was so cool to see you in that character because you are so well, and it's pretty dark, and you're the villain obviously. And then seeing you on stage,
then you meet me and you're like,
you are hilarious.
Thank you.
that whole intro speech at Echoes of Hope. Like we were side stage getting ready to walk out, and we're all 5 of us are just cracking up, laughing, tears in our eyes. Like it was so.
Well, I appreciate that. It's funny because I think people assume this is Lex Luthor. He's a billionaire, brilliant, dangerous individual, and they meet me, and you're like, you're none of those things.
No, and
in fact, women are even. They meet me, you're like, oh my god, he doesn't own a fucking suit. Is that a conversion van in your driveway? What the? You know what I mean? So. I've always been a goofball. No one ever expected I'd play such a serious part, and then I did, and it was convincing, I guess, and people really loved it.
It was so convincing.
I love hearing that. You never get people go, don't you get tired of hearing Lex Luthor? I'm like, if it's the only thing I had ever done, wouldn't that be enough? Yeah. Playing that iconic role for 7 years, so it was a great time, and like meeting you guys there, I was like, who are you guys? I didn't know you because look, I listen to 70s and 80s, but which I like is your music has a little flair, and then when I started learning and listening, I was like. These guys have that edge, that kind of fun energy, and that coolness that I like, that I miss. You go back in your music, you could feel that. And so when you played, I'm like, I like these guys.
Thanks, man.
And not only that, but you were like, I'm used to dysfunction. A lot of dysfunction in my family. You see it around, but then you see your family, I'm sure there's dysfunction.
We definitely have our moments.
But you guys are together, and you work together, and you play together, and it was just... It was nice. It was one of those moments where I think we were just both excited. Like, I felt like, wow, these guys watch Smallville. This is great. And I was like, oh, I like their music. And so it was kind of a mutual respect. And we became friends.
It definitely was, and we've become friends. And now we've played multiple hockey games together.
Yeah.
But I remember just being so blown away because you were so good. And I've watched a lot of your other work as well. But Lex Luthor was like part of my childhood. As you, and then seeing you on stage, it was so fantastic to really realize just how good you really are as an actor, and then how funny you are in person, and then even in other roles like Buddy and Impastor. We watched that.
Yeah, you guys, I'm telling you, they were my sports.
So funny.
The show only lasted 2 years, and I really loved doing Impastor. It was a fun show. It was dark and
it was so funny.
And you guys would like email me, and go, dude, we fucking love the new show, and it was just again that funness, that mutual respect we had. You're like, hey, come do our music video. I'm like,
that's right.
Never done a music video.
And you were in all night.
I appeared in one of your all-night video, and then you guys came on my. I got a bus for Halloween.
Yes,
the whole family was on my bus. And we just had a good time. We were all dressed up.
Isn't that kind of awesome how you just sort of spontaneously meet someone at an event or whatever?
Connect.
And you just connect. And it just sort of, it sparks a relationship. And
I brought my friend Carrie and Deneen to the Greek. It was sold out. It was awesome. Gus, have you heard them? You like their band? You don't have to whisper, Gus. Gus is whispering. He's being respectful.
He is being respectful.
Gordy's the one that's disrespectful. Gordy? But I brought Carrie and my friend Deneen, and they're like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "Oh, is this your friend?" They're online, Carrie, and I'm gonna kill her because she goes, "Does he play bass?" I'm like, she goes, "Oh my God!" I go,
bass.
Yeah,
there you go.
But we went, and they were blown away because they were like, "Oh." I think initially for R5, everyone thought, oh, they're young and they're
it's like it,
and then you guys are playing the Beatles or the Stones or I'm like, what the?
Yeah, we did a Prince cover at that.
Prince cover, and the girls were blown away. If you wanted some older ass, you guys would have got it because I hang out with an older crew. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna kill me.
How did you get into acting anyway?
How did I get into acting? It's probably a very similar story that other actors share, but I wasn't cool in high school. I think you could probably tell.
I actually would not have guessed that.
Not the shortest kid in my high school. I was 5'3" as a graduating senior. I grew like 11 inches in the next 2 years.
Wow.
I was a late bloomer, and no one really got me. I had like no ball hair, nothing. We don't have to get into that. But it was just kind of like uncomfortable. I was trying to fit in all these groups. Was I part of the goth group? I wasn't popular. I was kind of like nobody really knew me. Mm-hmm. It's like I didn't fit in anywhere. So I remember taking an acting class because it was a free A, and I finally did a play. And I remember I did Grease.
Oh, nice.
And I was the DJ, Vince Fontaine.
Oh,
and I remember I was like, hey, it's the main brain, Vince Fontaine, spinning the stacks of wax here at the House of Wax, WAXX, cruising time, 10:26. Sharpshooters pick of the week, a brand new one, shooting up the charts like a rocket by the Veldu Rays. And I remember doing that, and I went over and over, and I was so nervous, and so, and finally I do the play. The next day, I'm walking down the hallway, and this popular kid walks by me, Chris Pro. He's quarterback for the team. He goes, hey, Rosenbaum. He knows my name. It's like, you're funny in that play. I'm like, thank you. And then he walked off, and I go, oh, I get it. So not being me is good.
Oh, no.
So being someone else. So that's sort of like a confidence I had when I was on stage. I was someone else, and I was accepted. And that's why I started acting, which is probably not the best, but it was an outlet for me. And I didn't belong anywhere. I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't that smart. Or maybe I was a little smarter than I was, but I didn't have the guidance or the support team. I think it's very important as a kid to have someone who believes in you, parents who believe in you. My parents, I think they tried, maybe, but they were young when they had kids, and it was a difficult thing. So I found acting, and I started doing it through high school, and I fell in love with it. And I remember there's this guy, you can cut this story if it's boring, but this guy comes to Western Kentucky. He had gone to Western. His name was Leo Burmester. He was in the movie The Abyss. He had a big beard. He'd been in a ton of Broadway, and they said he's coming to Western Kentucky, and graduating seniors are able to do a monologue. Well, I wasn't graduating. I was a junior, so I told the head, I go, hey, I'm not graduating, but I pay money to this school, and I want to do a monologue for this guy. Because in my brain, I said, I swear to God, this is how I thought. This is being naive but ambitious and young and not giving a shit, which you lose as you get older. And that drive when you're young, I think, is what is so special about, just being young. But I remember he came, I thought, he's going to come into town. I'm going to do a monologue. He's going to say, you're amazing. You're a star. He's going to bring me to New York. I'm going to just become a star, and that's it. I swear to God, that's in my head.
Right.
I couldn't tell anybody this because, you're a fucking egotistical little shit. But I thought it, man. Gordy, I fucking thought it. So you got to think these things. So Leo Burmester comes into town, and everybody gives a monologue, and I'm the last one to go. And I come up, and I do this monologue. And he goes, come here for a second. Do it again, but this time I want it to hurt you. Like what you're saying really hurts you. It was the opposite way I had anticipated.
Okay.
And I did it. He goes, come here. He goes, this time I want you to be hurtful or something. And I did it again. And again, I'm like, oh my God, either I'm terrible, I don't know what's going on, but I'm the only one he really gave notes to over and over.
Right.
And then he comes up to me as the bell rings, and the whole class has been watching me do this shit over and over, which I'm like going, oh my God. And he goes, you have a lot of talent. You don't stop because you're going to make it. You cannot stop. You're really fucking good.
Nice.
And I never really, I've heard oh, you're great, but this is from someone who was in the industry and I go, and I got numb. And then later on, the teacher who didn't initially like me goes, Mr. Rosenbaum, believe it or not, Leo Burmester, he said that you were the only one or one of the few that really has a shot at this. And I go, and dude, 2 days later, I got a call. I still have the phone call on tape. Hey, it's Leo. Listen, if you ever come to New York, I want to introduce you to my agent. I flew to New York the next week. I met his agent, but I decided to go back home and graduate. But anyway, the shit that I had is
cool.
The shit that I had that said, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to go down.
Yeah.
It's amazing the power of the mind and the power of thought, positive thinking. And that's sort of like what I'm dealing with now. It's like you get in ruts. We all get in ruts. Mm-hmm. And I got in a rut in the last couple months where it wasn't like work-wise. It was just like, one of those ruts.
Yeah.
Personal life shit. And trying to I'm 45. I was thinking, what the fuck? What do I really want? What's my purpose? What do I really want to do? And it's amazing what positive thinking can do. And just waking up and thinking, not thinking about what you don't have. Think about what you do have.
Yes.
Not thinking of the shit that happened to you. Think of the shit that's happened to you that's really good. So it's it's amazing how the mind works, and if you can control that in any way, it's so. Long story.
That's great though. Oh, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride. I really didn't think I'd amount to shit. If you were talking to me as a freshman in high school, I would have I didn't think I'd make it. You know, like some of those kids, like I wouldn't say have like death wishes, but I was one of those kids. Like I didn't want to die, but I felt like I'm just not going to live long. I had this feeling that I'm not going to. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't feel like I belong in this world. It was weird. It was like I was going through the motions, and then you start to find your way.
Yeah.
And with a little guidance and everything, so it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, that's a great story, man. I'm so happy that you found.
Thanks. I've never told that story, really.
Really?
I don't think I've ever told that story.
That's good.
I mean, yeah.
I'm happy we have an exclusive.
Gordy, how do you feel about that story?
We got a thumbs up from Gordy.
Good. This Bulletproof is making me do. What'd you put in here to make me talk about all these stories?
You know, little secret ingredients called Brain Octane.
Health is wealth, my friend.
Health is wealth.
Health
yeah,
is wealth.
I'm on the health train right now. That's why I'm kind of like.
Yeah, you look good. You look cut.
Thank you.
You're in here is good. I'm going to tell you, in about 10, 15 years, things are going to start to loosen up. not just your bowels, Riker. What's going to happen is you get a little soft, and no matter how many sit-ups and push-ups you do, it's just this shit happens. So there's testosterone. There's things that you can take, but I wouldn't recommend taking anything. No supplements.
Yeah.
Unless they're healthy supplements.
Healthy, yeah. Natural, earth-grown, healthy, natural supplements I'm all about. But, yeah, anything that has to be cooked up in a lab, you got to watch out
for. Yeah, right? And the girl that I'm kind of seeing now, you know, she kind of rubs my Buddha belly a little bit. Because I got a little one. I'm covered up in this Hernandez shirt right here. He's a baseball player.
Nice.
But I can cover it up, but she'll go, oh, that's manly. I like it. It's manly. I'm like...
Manly Buddha?
Well, I don't want her to talk about it. Just don't bring it up. Be respectful. I don't want to hear your comments.
You can know it's there, but I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, we don't have to talk about negative things about each other.
Yeah,
I don't like it. Do you ever have to deal that with a girlfriend's like, I don't know, Riker, I don't know. Your eyes could be richer.
I think I dated a girl that had that sort of quality.
Like you could change your eyes.
Yeah, right? And you're like, what the hell are you talking? Like, what did
What'd she say? What'd she say?
I think it was a hair thing. I think I got my hair cut. And it was
I don't like your hair, Riker. It's a little surferish.
Yeah. One of those.
Yeah, I get shit all the time.
And I was just like, what?
Well, I get because I'm getting older. She's like, are those freckles or... I go, no, there's fucking sun damage, man. Lay off me. I'm fucking 45. Wait till you're like 5 years older because it happens to girls before it happens to guys. That's how I get it back. I'm like, you're younger than me. Just wait. Guys age nicely, gracefully.
Yes, definitely. We're very fortunate in that.
I don't know if that's true. Sure. I'm an old Jew. I'll probably be shitting my pants in another month. You know,
But you could. That's a funny scene. Like you should write that. Have you ever written? Do you like to write?
Oh yeah, I just wrote a script, a pilot. I've sold like 4 pilots. None of them got picked up to series, but I sold them. So what happens? You know, when you sell a script, you write a script, you sell it to a network, you pitch the network, you sell it. And then they pay you. They pay you X amount of money for 3 drafts. And then after the 3rd draft, they decide to pick it up to series or not. Or I'll shoot a pilot. And so I haven't had that luck. I sold 4 or 5 of them. But so we're going to go out. The new one, this is more like kind of like a Breaking Bad. A little funnier Breaking Bad with me as the lead. We're going to pitch it. So yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I think it'd be...
So I was curious, as far as like in Passer, were you involved in that?
Yeah, I was executive producer on that. So I was... It was awesome because, you know, a lot of times they'll give you a producer credit. Go, oh, yeah, just take that credit and you can, you know, whatever. But I was hands-on. Every person who got cast in that show, it was me and 3 other executive producers who had to make the decisions on cuts. We had our notes and you give your notes and it was very hands-on. So it was fun, but it was difficult. Like I learned a lot, but imagine working 16 hours as a lead actor on a show, and then go home and go, Michael, we need you to chime in about these actors, and you have to watch an hour of tape.
Yeah,
and then you have to but it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, great. I think that show was so funny.
It is, and this is like
well done. I think it was just like either. Like I feel like if it had like a bigger bigger platform, I think it would have really succeeded. Because I think like if Netflix or Amazon or Hulu, because everything's just so streaming now.
Yeah.
That it's a lot of people just don't have cable TV anymore.
Yeah.
So I think because that show was so good and
it was so fun. Thank you. We had a fun time doing it. It was one of those lucky things where you work 4 months a year really hard. You had the rest of the year off and. It was magical, and it was funny, and I got to be physical. I got to improvise, which I love to do, and it was a real treat. And this show that I just wrote that we're going to go out with if that show was just dark with less humor.
Right.
Humor, but like it goes down a dark alley, and it doesn't like. I think like this show, it was fun, but it got a little hokey at times for me, and I loved it still. But for this, I don't want for the next one, I want it to be even more grounded.
Right.
Really grounded, where the jokes come out of real situations. Like there's a scene where I walk in and my mom fucking my friend, and it's just not, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then he keeps doing it, and it's just like,
oh no.
Yeah. But it's really funny though.
Is there is there a 20-something blonde surfer dude looking guy?
I'll find one.
I mean,
dude, if this show gets picked up and I'm the creator, man, I'm gonna have all my friends come in.
Yes.
That's the thing. What I do. It's like when I did a directed movie called Back in the Day.
I watched that.
Yeah, a little raunchy comedy made for no money. If you want to see
so
it,
funny.
Nick
though.
Swartz and Marina Baccarin from what's the movie?
Deadpool.
She's the lead with Ryan Reynolds and Harlan Williams from Dumb and Dumber. Anyway, I directed this little movie and I was the lead in it, and that was one of those little things where you could just do what you want, and it was a blast. It was a blast.
It looked like a blast. I loved your production company too, Rose and
Bomb Productions. Yeah, that was funny. My brother worked with me on it, so it's great when you can use all your friends. I was hiring all my friends. Like,
what was it like directing?
If I can go back and change, the only thing I would change is like I wouldn't change anything, but I would never direct a feature film where I'm the lead actor in it.
Okay.
I just think that's too hard for me. I want to focus on one.
Yeah.
So what happens it's like you get up there and you block with the actors, like you're doing a scene. You're like, okay, we're going to do this and this. And it's hard to really be in the moment. I knew how to turn on and be my character, but I would have loved to have been behind the camera more, just like watching things, because I'm going to go, you know what would be better if we jump back on a wider lens and let this scene just play out. And wow, I want to get a close up of that while she's doing that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what? Change that. But when you're in the scene, you can't really do that. You're going through the motions of acting.
Yeah, because you have to be in the moment. Did you watch each?
No, I couldn't.
Take?
What's funny is I would watch other actors. I would watch the other actors. I look at a take and I go, great. I want you to do one more, but here's what I want you to get. And let them watch it. It's a comedy. I want you to see it. I hate when if we have time, and we didn't have a lot of time.
Right.
I think it's important, if you're doing a comedy, to see what's funny and how to make it funnier. Sometimes you don't want people to see, like, if you're shooting a drama, you don't want them to see, because it might change the performance if they're being too self-aware.
Right.
And but for me, I didn't look at my takes. I trusted the first assistant director, the first AD, and my producer. And I'd look it over there, and like, if Gus, you were the AD, you'd go, that one more. That means one more.
Uh-huh.
Or I go, is there anything specific? You need more energy. A little more energy to the scene. I go, okay, cool. And I would do like 2-3 takes of me, but I'd give most of the other takes to the other actors.
Gotcha, yeah.
So I just felt like, and I remember the editor called me up day 4 and goes, hey, bud, Sandy. I'm like, hey, Sandy, why are you calling me? Is something wrong? Am I fucking it up? He goes, no, how many takes are you giving yourself? And at that time, I'm like, maybe 1 or 2. He goes, okay. I go, something wrong? He goes, no, everything's great. You just remember, you're the lead in the movie. It's all about you, so give yourself more takes.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I'm like, okay. So I started to do that a little more. But I just was worried about the other actors thinking, giving it all to myself.
Yeah.
I'm not taking care of them. And at the end, it's like you got to take care of yourself, too.
I heard in an interview, I think it was Ewan McGregor, he was doing his first directing, and he was one of the characters in it, and Ben Affleck, I think, told him, was like, you got to make sure you get your coverage, because he's like, you as a director and an actor, you don't want the other actors, just like you said, to think you're just overshooting yourself.
Yeah.
But he's like, you forget
because you're looking at everyone else. You're thinking, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
And you're also like, I flew them all out to Indiana, where I grew up in the middle of nowhere, to shoot this little film with wiffle ball and farts and cruising down Green River Road and shitty little malls. And, they were taking their time away from pilot season to do a month with me on this little lowbrow comedy. And it turned out great, but you want to make them feel like they're coming there to be able to work.
Yeah.
The best you can. What did Dylan say? I think he said you can please some of the people some of the time, a few of the people all the time, but you can't please all the people all the time.
Can't please all the people.
And that's true, man. That's what I'm learning. It's taken me a long time, but you really just can't please everyone. Even if you do something and all of a sudden you have Instagram and you have 1,000 people saying, we love you, you're great, you're funny. And then you have a couple people saying you're fucking ugly. And you're like, you can't worry about those people. You just got to focus on the positive.
Focus on the positive, yeah. And you also directed an episode of Smallville, correct?
Yeah, that's what kind of got me in. You know, I directed a play in college, but then, you know, I was on Smallville. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me. You've got a great crew. They've been doing this for a while. And I'm like, I want to direct an episode. And everybody, it's different because you think you're a great director because it's easier. Because these people have been doing it every week for years. It's a prop guy. He knows this. And then there's a sound guy. So I just had to really tell the story.
Right.
And so it wasn't easy, but it was easier. So I felt like, I could direct a movie. So I directed a short film. I directed this little thing called Jiled, which is about a giant child, which you could find online. It's hilarious. It's me as an 8-year-old who can't stop growing. And we like miniaturized the sets. And
cool.
Harlan Williams is in it. It's really funny. And I directed a little horror short that went to Scream Fest. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for a movie. But when you direct a movie, everything's different. Like day one, I had to fire the sound guys. And it was the hardest thing for me to do because I don't like firing anybody.
Why'd you have to fire them?
Well, they seemed a little bit perverted, one of them. They were saying comments I didn't like. They weren't working fast enough. And I remember I was getting anxiety. It was right after the first day, and I got my producer and my DP and everybody around me, and I was kind of shaking a little bit. I could feel like they were looking at me as though he's rattled.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, okay. You know when you get like that, and you're just like I know I'm acting like this right now.
Yeah.
So I see how you're looking at me. It's like, all right, it's okay. Yeah, it's like, I'm nervous. Fuck that. And I looked at them, and I just go, we have to fire the sound people. And the DP, big bearded Bradley, goes, yep. Yeah. And then Kim goes, the producer, and the AD goes, oh, fuck. Yeah. And I go, they're going to bring this ship down. And Kim goes, but we're going to have to make it through Friday. And I go, that's 3 more days.
Oh, no.
Why? Well, we won't have sound.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to hire someone else.
Yeah.
And they've got to come in, get prepped, and do it. So we lasted another 3 days. And then I felt really bad because they were starting to be better.
Oh, shoot.
No, I didn't. I didn't feel bad. I didn't. They would have brought the ship down.
Well, that's good. You know, sometimes you got to make moves and get ahead of the problem.
Yeah. Can you make yourself belch?
This is about as good as I
That was
get.
an inverted belch. That wasn't a belch. That was
It was just a little one. It was outward. I just kept my mouth closed. Oh, you can do like big ones.
yeah.
Just toss that right over.
Yeah, it's like a magician. In the movie, back in the day, which I directed, I have Harlan Williams. He's the guy from Dumb and Dumber and Something About Mary. You know, he's the cop. You tricking on some of Grandpa's cough medicine, are you? You know that guy?
Yeah.
So in the movie, I have him teaching his son how to catch a fart.
Yeah.
And throw it.
And he's like, and you got to wiggle.
And it's like a wiggle. It's like
that scene lasted so long.
And you know what? And the producer goes, Michael, do you think this scene's too long? And he goes, what you want to do, buddy, is you want to take the fart, you want to cup it like this, and you want to throw it right there, right underneath the Tom Selleck. Right there.
Right underneath the Tom
and he just
Selleck.
keeps going, and I go, it's one scene that my brother and I, in the editing sessions, when I was watching it over and over, I felt like it was the funniest thing to me. And I was making the movie for that group of people, where I think, farts are funny. And went on along. I remember Sandler watched and he loved it. He goes, I fucking loved it, the fucking fart scene, and fucking Schwartz, and the fucking... And then I gave it to Todd Gardner, this producer. He wanted to see it. And Todd's like, yeah, I think you should cut the fart scene, and I think you should cut the shit scene in the shower.
Oh, no.
No, and the barf scene's funny. The barf scene. So we got shit, farts, barf. Got a perfect movie right here. And it's a love story. It's not just that, but there's a nice love story.
There was a nice love story. Yeah. I think everyone was really funny. It was a great movie.
Thanks,
I
man.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great. Well, that's the whole point, right? We want to make a funny movie, and that's what we did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you wanting to direct more, or do you like acting better?
Yeah, you know what? It's weird. Like when I first started, I just wanted to act. I just wanted that's all I wanted to do. And then I got older and I started doing a show. And then after 150 episodes of one show, and I mean, remember I did a show called Zoe, Duncan, Jack and Jane, which lasted a year. I did 26 episodes. I did a show called The Tom Show, 26 episodes done. So one season of that, a bunch of pilots, and so for me, I mean, I want to do more TV. I want to act more, but you get into other things. Like all of a sudden, I became good friends with Carrie Fisher, the late Carrie Fisher.
Right.
Who's one of my really close friends. And her daughter she called me and said, hey, my daughter's a big Smallville fan. Can she have a picture? And I go, can I have a Return of the Jedi picture of you in that outfit with Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And she sent, blow me, Michael. It's in my office in the picture. And,
that.
And we just became friends, and I went over there, and I started reading a lot of her shit, and she got me into writing. And she goes, write what you know. So I just started writing all these things about my life, and she goes, you should do something with these things. And that got me into writing. And it was another way of escape for me, of just like, how could I be different? How could I do, be more fulfilled, fill my time with, instead of like just acting and going out and having fun,
right?
Writing. And then I got into directing, and then now I feel like now I want to do music. I'm playing music. I'm doing stand-up comedy. Band. Why not?
Yeah.
The only thing is...
Oh, yeah, you did a couple of nights of stand-up. That's right.
No, I did 50.
50?
I went up on stage.
I had no idea you did 50. Dang.
Harlan Williams got me to do it, and Swartzen and Bobby Lee and these guys, these big comedians. And they said, open for us. And I started going there. And then I started doing the circuit, the...
Comedy Club.
Comedy Store, the Improv, Laugh Factory. And I started going up every weekend, 3 or 4 times a week. And I worked 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, headline for 25. It was an interesting...
Yeah, how was
I just
that?
wanted to test myself. I really felt like, what's holding me back? It's fear. It's just fear.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all anything is fear. And so if you could overcome that, it's just magical. And it's hard to overcome, because I was going up with the big guys like Joe Rogan and Judd Apatow and David Spade and Nick Swartzen, and it stressed the shit out of me. I'm like trying to get energy because I'm so fatigued and stressed, and I'm drinking Red Bulls at 10 o'clock to go on for 11 o'clock.
Oh, no.
Or going on 12 at the Laugh Factory, and then I get home at 2 and I'm wired, and now I feel great because it was a whole crowd and I did well.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a different lifestyle. I'm not sure I want to... Like, what's the goal? I think that with life, you got to figure out what is a hobby, and what do you really want to spend? What's your purpose?
Yeah.
What do you want to spend your time on? Because time's like invaluable. Mm-hmm. And if you don't dedicate most of your time to the thing that you're best at, or the thing that you really, really want to do, or don't have a real purpose in that, then it's just a waste. And for me, it's like, so what am I going to do? Maybe start going on tour in a year? Start doing clubs all over the country? That sounds horrible. Hey, Michael Rosenbaum will be in Cleveland at the Shart Factory or whatever. And it just, to me, it's like, I don't know if I want to go do 6 shows a week.
Right.
That's a lot of energy. It's a lot of, like, maybe I'd like to do a special someday. But I don't know if I want to do that work. That kind of work, that's like, to me, that doesn't sound fun. And I have friends that do it. So I started to think, what do you really want? And I do love acting, and I do love writing and directing, and I think that's probably...
I think that's awesome, though, that you just sort of, like, went for it. You're like, because everybody knows that you are funny. Everyone that knows you, you're hilarious.
Well, not after this interview.
But, going out and doing that stand-up, that's, I would imagine, has got to be, like, the hardest thing, because it is, when you're not good at it, it is very clear to everyone if you're not good at stand-up.
Brand new respect for comedians, because I always knew it was hard. But when you go on stage in front of 1,000 people, 500 people, whatever it is, and it's like, all eyes on you, they don't care, they want to laugh, and they know bullshit, and you got to go up and do 20, 25, 30 minutes, and all my stuff was new. So I had everything I had was new. There was no like, hey, should I do some of my old stuff? I don't have old stuff. This is all I have.
This is all you got.
So I just started talking about real life and my crazy family, and just things that I thought were funny, and the response was great. It was just really great, and I was like, should I continue to do this? And I still want to go back on, because I really did enjoy it to a certain degree, because there's nothing like that. I remember doing those plays in high school, like instant gratification.
Instant, yeah.
And as a musician.
Live, yeah.
And it's just like immediate, like, he's funny. Oh my gosh, he made me laugh. And making people laugh and making people feel certain ways is such an amazing thing, whether you're acting or a musician or whatever. So I do like it. I'm figuring all that. I just have too many hobbies. I have too many things that I like to do.
I hear you.
Playing hockey with you, music. Now you're doing this fucking show here, like, so we all have all these things. Like, let's try. And it's great as long as you have the energy. But when you start getting like, I'm just fucking tired all the time. I'm just not. And you have to enjoy it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's important.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of hockey, how did that come about?
Me playing hockey?
Yeah, you started playing hockey. Or when?
I was born in New York, and my dad, he was
you're
a
a Rangers
big,
fan?
diehard Ranger fan. So we moved to Indiana at a young age when I was like 8, but we were all like hearts of New Yorkers. And so every New York team, so we've been cursed, dude. The fucking Mets are falling apart this year. The Knicks suck my ball sacks. The Rangers fucking shit the bed every year. Yeah, but I mean, every one of the Giants, thank God, are the only team that has done anything. The New York Giants football.
Yeah.
But I went there, and I didn't start late till probably about 13. And my dad was the president of the hockey league. He became president of the hockey league,
nice.
and he used to ship us up to Canada to play hockey. And we got pretty good. My brother and I got pretty good,
Nice.
and I got like an offer for a scholarship for hockey, a half scholarship. But
cool.
But I got hurt and I had back surgery the next year. But I ended up playing some fun club hockey, like in Nashville and things, competitive league. And I just fell in love with it. I've always loved the sport. I think it's the best sport. And
Definitely the best sport.
To me, they're the most athletic. To be able to skate, you're on these skates, maneuvering, doing these, flying down the ice, the checking, the hitting, the shooting, the coordination that it takes.
And it's so much faster than any other sport.
Yeah, I mean, like my trainer's like this French guy, and I love him, but he's like, hockey's not a sport. Maybe a terrible accent. He's like soccer. I'm like, one goal is scored a game.
Yeah.
How is that fun to watch? No offense, but it's like, oh, and he's kicking the ball, and he's still kicking the ball. They are kicking the ball. Oh, he kicked it far. I mean, it's great. They're athletic. They are super athletes. They are powerful.
Definitely,
I
yeah.
really love soccer. But I'm just like, don't tell me that hockey's not a sport.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you are crunching people against boards. You are like shooting a puck at the speed of light. You're like turning on a dime. You're backwards. You're forwards.
Yeah.
You know, it's
a very quick game.
I love it. I really love it. And if you haven't gone to a
too.
hockey game, right? You go to a hockey game and watch it live. It's a different game. It's a different game. But then you also realize what a man you're not.
Totally,
you
right?
know, it's like I'm around. I have hockey friends. The players. My friend Burns, he goes, Rosie, why don't you come to San Jose? I'm like, I don't know if I want. He's like, you come to training camp. I'm like, I'm on the next flight. And I flew there and I trained with the San Jose Sharks for 3 days. Skated with them, meals.
Oh
worked
my
out
God.
with them, Joe Thornton, everybody.
So cool.
Yeah, and that's when I was like, I'm not a man.
Yeah.
That's when I realized I wasn't a man.
Oh my God,
So
that's
today
so cool,
on the
though.
show, I am announcing.
You are not.
No, I'm not. I mean, I have a penis, but I felt like I didn't have a penis.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, especially with those guys. I mean, you know, that's a big,
great
big
bodies.
team.
I would comment on their bodies in the locker, like, God, you have a. It's out of envy. It's not like a perversion, like I want to, lick their balls or anything. It's more like, it's more like, oh my God, Thornton, you got a great body. I mean, you're really nice physique.
He's like 40s, right?
Yeah, and he looks at me like, why is a dude telling me this?
Yeah.
Because I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I'm gonna go have sex right after I said that. I'm totally cool with what I'm saying.
That's so cool.
I remember Mike Madonna with the Dallas Stars. I was doing a piece for the Best Damn Sports Show. It used to be on the air, and Tom Arnold gave me the mic and the camera crew, and he was being interviewed, and it was a really intense game, and there were all these mics are there, and I'm just like Mike Madonna with the microphone, and he's got no shirt on. I go, and everybody's like, Mike, you've had a 5-game struggle. What's going on? What's going on with the team? You've lost. Everybody's serious.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, imagine this dumbass right here going, Mike, you have a great body. How do you do it? And he's like, he literally, all the mics are here, and then they all start disappearing. And he goes, I don't know. I work out.
I play hockey.
So uncomfortable. But yeah,
that's funny.
Athletes, I always wanted to be an athlete. I think it's much cooler to be an athlete than it is a.
I've spoken to the few athletes that I've spoken to. They all think it's cooler to be a musician or an actor.
You always want what you're not or you can't be.
Grass is always green on the
But we
other
play
side.
hockey for fun and we have a great time.
It's my favorite hobby for sure.
You have a great body.
You do as well.
Oh, you were hesitant. You do as well. I have. Let's just say
one of those where you try to return the compliment out
I've been
of
working.
respect.
Phil, come on.
Oh yeah, you're solid.
Yeah, I've been working out.
You send me those emails that your trainer's doing special deals all the time. So you must be.
Well, I'm just trying to get him work.
Yeah, but
no, he's great. He's a great trainer, and he does give great packages. And he's a kickboxer, world champion kickboxer. This guy's tough.
Nice.
So we'll box one day, and then he'll train me one day, and he's intense. It's good.
How many days a week do you do that?
Now 3 in the last couple weeks, but before that, 0.
So you picking it up.
I go in and out. Like I'll go 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll work out hard for a couple months, and it's just like you need a break. Sometimes you just need to say, "Hey, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to eat In-N-Out burgers."
You do.
You know, you guys don't have to worry about that. Gordy and Girth, they can eat what they want at your age. You're like, "Oh my God, I'm indestructible," and one day it's going to hit you.
Yeah.
One day you're going to look down while you're having sex, or you're going to be like, "I'm disgusting. How is she having sex with me?" Or he, whatever you want, Gordy.
Oh man,
what a treat, huh?
I love it. I love every single thing that has ever come out of your mouth. Is amazing.
We fist bumped.
We did.
Such a douchebag.
I want to know though, being out in LA, are you a Kings fan?
Yeah, here's the deal. I became a Kings fan. I became a Lakers fan. But first is always Rangers.
Same.
First is always the Knicks. It's always Mets or New York first.
Yeah.
And
it's for me. It's Colorado first, and then Kings.
Yeah. And you know,
Los Angeles.
I was really rooting for the Kings when then they won a couple of cups. Then they get kind of cocky, and it's just like, here's my thing. I'm a lovable loser. I really love the underdog. I always have. You know, when I make softball teams, I organize co-ed softball. I always try to make my team not as good, just because I like losing by a couple is better than winning by many.
Yes.
To me, I don't like that. I like competition, and I'd rather lose and it would be a good game. That's how I've always been. So when the Kings started winning so much, it was just like, fuck this. Like this year, I was like, fuck the Penguins. Come on, San Jose. Come on, anybody but the Penguins. Come on, Capitals. They've never had.
I was pulling big time for the Caps.
Come on, man. Ovechkin's a great player. He seems like a dick, but he's a great player.
Yeah.
So I like the underdog to win. I want people that haven't won. You don't want Tom Hanks to win the Oscar every. Well, maybe I like.
I do like
He's
Tom
an exception. I just interviewed his son on my show.
Oh, really?
On my podcast. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So you have the podcast. What sparked that inspiration?
You know, I just for years I feel like I'm a people's person. I like talking to people. I like bringing out the good things out of them, and I feel like I don't know what it is, but I think I just enjoy it, and I'm able to get things out of people without insulting them, and getting good things out of them. But just conversations and letting them open up, because I'm very comfortable, and I just try to make things just easygoing and real. And so a lot of people were talking to me about it, and my producer now, Rob, was like, dude, just try it. So I started inviting all my celebrity friends and musicians and like yourself, and actors like yourself, and dancers like yourself. And I just started interviewing them, and I realized, wait, this is fun, and this is... there's something special about this. I don't know. I feel like I have a knack for it. And, it became therapy for me. It's weird. These interviews become therapy not only for me, but for the audience.
That's cool, yeah.
And what happens is, like Kristen Bell, we'll talk about depression and anxiety. And I'll talk to this other guy, one actor who had a stroke in the middle of a convention. And we talk about real things and funny things and dark things and adversity they face and how they deal with pressure, and it just has become really special to me. It's really cathartic. That's awesome. And I feel like people that listen to it, if they gave it a chance, they're always like, oh my God, now I want to go back and listen to all of them, because it is therapy. It really is. For the audience, you think that this guy, oh my God, he was the top of his career. He's this, he's that. He shouldn't have any stress. He shouldn't have anxiety. He shouldn't. Yeah. And then you realize, oh my God, look what he had to suffer with.
You realize that they're just human.
It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what you've done or what you haven't done. We're all humans.
Yeah.
And we're all going to the same fucking place.
You should have Burns on the show.
Oh, he's going to come on the show. It is also great. I have these idols, these icons come into my house, like Henry Winkler, the Fonz, and Tara Lipinski, the gold medal figure skater, and R5, and seriously, and Colin Hanks and Kristen Bell and Justin Hartley from This Is Us, and just a wide variety of people coming in, and you're able to sit down and have an intimate conversation, and it's awesome.
I think it's so cool, and it's especially podcasts are really, really popular nowadays, and I think it's just so awesome that you have an outlet in that, and I love what you're doing with the show. I loved being on it. We had a great time.
It's so fun, because I felt like you guys were. It's mostly when you do interviews, this. It's they're like, so Riker, tell us about the new single, and you're like, oh, so You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like, for us, it was like, hey, dude, you guys you had to hate each other as kids. And you're like, well, and then I'm like, what about your sister? Did she hate being around so many guys? And like, what's the, did your parents, were they getting along with it? And I'm like asking questions that are just like, how did you become Riker?
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's like, that's what I want to find out. What makes you tick?
Yes, exactly.
Why are you? And like, I did 2 of you at the same time. That sounded weird. But like, I want to have you on again, so... And Ross separately, so I could talk about different things and just really. But it's
definitely having Ross on again after his career has gone through so much since we were on the show. Yeah, you'd have some much new stories and cool experiences that it would be really cool because obviously he's doing the Netflix show now. He did My Friend Dahmer.
My Friend Dahmer was terrific.
You went and saw it?
Oh yeah, brah. I was honestly blown away, dude.
I was blown away too.
I'm watching it, and for the first 10 minutes you watch anything, you're like, oh, there's Rosenbaum, or oh, there's Ross.
Yeah.
And then within 25 minutes or 30 minutes, I'm just lost in this.
You're like,
and I thought it was really dark and sad and enlightening and funny at times, and I was shocked that he was able to, because he hasn't done tons of things.
No.
And it was amazing how he somehow created this character and sold it.
Yeah.
Completely sold it. And the direction of that movie was just brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah,
I truly
think,
loved it. Were you blown away?
I was absolutely blown away. I think that award season was missed on that one. I
do too.
I think it was just one of those things where they didn't have enough money to promote it and go through all that stuff that you have to do.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think it'll be like one of those where in a couple years people will look back and be like that. Yeah, that's
Cult
one
movie,
of those that is one of the best movies that was totally missed by
I agree.
at the time.
I agree wholeheartedly. It was fantastic. Do you want to act more?
I do. I've been that's sort of besides from this show, this whole year because of the whole R5 situation, I've been taking this whole year focusing on acting. And
are you taking class?
No, I'm not taking class.
You don't take class? Yeah, I never. I did in the beginning.
Yeah.
And you know what's a great thing to do is go to Groundlings. Take some improv classes. Shit.
I do like improv, and I did a lot of that like in Colorado when I was just learning, doing stuff before we moved out here. And I've done a couple classes, but I really like auditioning because I like just
that's the worst. I hate auditioning.
I don't like the whole. I like learning lines and I like preparing a character and being that, and then performing it. I don't like the audition process.
Oh, no. That freaks me out to this day. That's the hardest thing for me to do is, like, there's a weird thing with auditioning for things because you get this information and you are thinking immediately, I'm not going to get this. There's a million other guys that are going to get this.
I have the opposite problem.
You think you're going to get it?
I think I'm going to get everything I ever
See, I don't. Maybe I thought that back when, but like, it's almost like I don't want to try so hard. It's a terrible way to look at things.
Oh, that's funny.
But it's like, oh fuck. If I really put my mind on it and I really worked on it, I know I'll fucking crush it.
Yeah.
But like, what if I do that and I don't get it? It's like I think it's because I did that for so long that I did feel like the way you were talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't audition a ton anymore. But for important things, for things that I really, really think I could actually get, like if it's a character that I'm like, that's me, me, give me this material. Like there was this FX show that I auditioned for that I really wanted to do. They were doing what was that show? What We Do in the Shadows, the documentary about. It was a mockumentary about what's his name? TD something.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's this movie that came out. You should see it. What We Do in the Shadows. They're doing a TV show, and I auditioned for this, and it was like playing a vampire.
Oh,
but
cool.
It's in modern times, and a camera crew is following you. So it's like The Office, but with vampires. Like when I was, I used to be this great vampire. I lived in a castle, and I fucked everything. I mean, everything. Seriously, everything I fucked comes in there. I fucked it, And I fucking went in there, and I thought I destroyed it. I was like, this is me. And you don't get it, but it's like, that's okay, because I really want it. So you're right. If you really want something, you got to fight for it.
Yeah, you do. And I don't know why. Especially like sometimes I walk out of the room. I do think the whole process is a bullshit process because you get usually it's like one chance to do the scene, which is not realistic.
Right.
You never in filming a TV show, they'll never be like, all right, you got one take.
No, it's like 10 takes. Yeah. It's a wide, it's a close-up.
So there's so many different options there, and then the audition process is usually only one. Sometimes they give you notes and you do it again, but I just like...
You're a rare breed. Like, you like to go in there and you like the competition. You're like, come on,
I like the competition a little bit, and I like I said, I like learning my lines, and I like going for it. I like being a character. I like figuring out what I'm going to wear to the audition.
You got balls of steel. I mean, you did Dancing with the Stars in front of millions of people on TV, and to me, if you could do that, you really, what can't you not do?
Thanks.
To me, if you could do Dancing with the Stars, like, for some reason I feel like, I don't know, but I'm in my head, my penis would flop out somehow. I'm dancing, I'm doing a triple Lindy.
Oh, God!
Yeah, my balls pop out. I'm like, oh, Michael Rosenbaum's balls. More news at 9. I'm like, I don't want that to happen. I feel like I'll
You don't want to pull a Lenny?
I'll say the wrong thing. I say the wrong thing at times. I don't know if you know that about me.
I don't
mean to. I think 90, I don't mean, like, I don't try to. I just... Whatever's on my mind, that's how my mind operates.
Yeah, it just rolls out.
Yeah, it rolls out. And sometimes you say something, you're like, hey, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean you had a fat ass. I just was saying that fat asses are in. And you're in. Mom? You know? And that's something that just happens, you know? My mom once said that. She goes, Michael, do these jeans make my ass look fat? I'm like, no. Your ass makes your ass look fat. You're fucking grounded.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's life, man. You just
I do think Dancing with the Stars was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. For sure.
I couldn't do it. I mean, maybe at your age, my body could do it.
I think you could. You got rhythm. You're a musician. You could probably do it.
But you really moved. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's the right thing for me.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Maybe.
I like dancing naked in front of my mirror, though. I always think I'm going to get on that lip sync thing, that show.
Oh.
I always feel like, God, I'd kill it. Like, I'm scared because I think I'd kill it.
We should go. Don't they do battles?
Why don't we do it?
Let's do it. I'm in.
I would do some old Starship. Remember Starship? Sarah, Sarah.
I like it.
No time is a good time for goodbye. You don't know it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Maybe if I heard like the full thing.
You know Starship. What's that Starship? I'm asking these guys. They're 15. How old are you, Gus?
17.
Oh, I'm an asshole. You're 17.
Well, we are in that age range of the Marvel universe.
Yes.
We're big fans.
Oh, yes.
And you are in Guardians of the Galaxy. Are you? So what,
yeah.
How did you get the whole silver diamond thing?
So the character's name is Martin X in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was one of the original Guardians of the Galaxy, and James wanted to incorporate him and some other characters.
So you are technically a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Well, in this one, I'm a Ravager.
Okay.
So in this universe, he's made us Ravagers. And, he's one of my best friends, James. He directed the first, the second, he's directing the third. He's also directed a lot of other stuff. And he said, hey, I know you're filming a show right now. It's filming in Pastor. He says, do you want to have this part in Guardians? I said, yeah, dude. He goes, it's a small part, but it has the potential, and I want this character to be in other ones. Uh-huh. And you're going to be working with Stallone. I'm like,
you're like, duh.
For like 2 weeks. So I went on set. We had to do fittings and stuff, and so it's me, it's my body, and they put these dots on my face and created something around me.
Okay.
So it's me and my voice, but they created this diamond-like character around me, and I think that it'll probably be a little more enhanced and a little more. Hopefully, I'll be a little more noticeable. Maybe. Well, it's up to him, but. We were in the end credits as well, and I interviewed him on my podcast.
Oh, you did?
And I said, James, so is Stallone coming back? He's like, yeah, why would I have him in the end credits if he wasn't coming back? I'm like, well, you know who else was in the end credits? He's like, who? I go, me? Martin X? He's like,
Martin X.
So, James is goofing with me, but I have a feeling we're waiting to find out which one, and, hopefully it's the third one. But I don't know that yet.
Right.
But it'd be nice. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of my friends were on there. His brother Sean Gunn works on it. I know Pratt. Chris is great. Karen Gillan's a friend. All those guys are just great people, and it's a fun set to be on.
I would imagine that would be a really fun set.
Oh, dude. And I was singing songs with Stallone every day on set. It was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
He signed my Rambo lunchbox.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He goes,
very cool.
Keep killing. Rambo.
Awesome. Do you incorporate impressions in your stand-up ever? I feel like you're
I do. I tried one thing where I was doing stand-up. I was like, you ever wonder what it would be like to have sex with Owen Wilson? I was like, oh yeah, this is great. It's like, I don't know, it's like my nose is crooked, but it's like, I'm really enjoying this. I know my brother Luke is like really like, and I would do stuff like that, or I would do, but like it's funny because when I do cartoon voices, and I did the voice.
Yeah, you do a ton of that.
I did the voice of the Flash for the Justice League for years, and I've done tons of video games. There's a new Lego game coming out I did, and Bruce Timm, the creator of the Justice League animated series, would say, hey, do your Christopher Walken for the Scarecrow character. I'm like, Batman, you suck. I'm going to kill you. Listen, you don't know anything, Batman. He goes, oh, do your Kevin Spacey for Deadshot. And I'm like, no, listen to me, Batman. No, damn it. You're going to listen to me now or I'm taking down your whole clan. And then he'd go, oh, do your Malkovich. I go, no, Batman, you don't know what I'm... And I would just do all these things.
So great.
And it was just fun. It was just like, oh my God, I'm getting paid to do this? So...
And you're really good. I haven't seen you do that in person.
I never left the house when I was in high school or college. I just stayed at home, and I remember just like sitting home and watching the trailer for Jaws on my Laserdisc player on a Saturday night. I had no friends, and I'm just like memorizing the trailer, the voice. Like, no creature has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without fear, without logic. It is as though God created the devil and gave him Jaws. See it before you go swimming. And I just I memorize it. I know it sounds kind of, it's not, but it's not cool. I mean, I just thought it was cool. I'm going to learn that.
I think it's cool.
Well, thanks.
Like, especially with, that talent. It came from that, essentially. The fact that you can hear a voice and imitate it.
Just at home. Yeah. My parents are out, and I'm home Saturday night watching Saturday Night Live, and they'd come home and they go, what happened on SNL? And I would do all the characters.
You just did it all.
I was like church lady. Hello again, it's the church lady. This is church chat. And I would do Fernando. My daddy always told me it's better to look good than to feel good. He'll look marvelous. And I would do all these characters. Like, oh my God, do the George Bush, do that. Yeah. And that's because I just spent so much time watching TV and listening, and that's all I had. And my grades were failing. But I managed to make a career out of,
Well, we all know the school system is, that's so old, and it can be wildly updated. It needs to be. So it doesn't. You're wildly successful. You're doing great
knocking
things.
Knock on wood, brother.
I hope that the new pilot gets sold.
Me too.
I hope
Thank
it makes
you.
It happen. This has been one of my favorite episodes.
Dude, this is the best, man.
Thank you
the best.
so
I'm glad
much.
you're doing this.
Yes.
And you're going to come back on the...
Yes.
Come back.
Come on.
Oh, come on.